Hello and welcome to MMA with Yac&J on BrawlersTV.com. I'm the Yak Man, Ron Yacovetti.
And I'm Randy J. Tonight, we're not only launching our all-new series meant to bring you the week's headlines from the MMA world, but we're also going to be talking to Elite XC's lightweight fighter, Connor Yoon. So let's get started with our top story tonight. Ron?
Thank you, Randy. Absolutely. You know, it wasn't so long ago in this very galaxy, by the way, when a heavily hyped, street-certified brawler stepped into the cage with an undefeated record. Of course, we're talking about YouTube fighting sensation Kimbo Slice.
Oh, I like to call him Kimbo Nice. Yes, we are. And in his first fight against James the Colossus Thompson, Kimbo came very close to being dealt his first loss. Yeah. So while he did win, Kimbo still needed to come back and win big in his next fight, also showing that he had an improved ground game.
Yep. And so that day would come, October 4th, in Kimbo's proverbial backyard of Miami, Florida. The event was Elite XC's Heat, which headlined MMA legend Ken Shamrock, a guy with a solid ground game, to test him against a new and improved Kimbo Slice. The event, however, ended in major controversy as Ken Shamrock sustained an injury and was unable to continue.
Ah, the pre-fight countdown.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, I said it, the pre-fight countdown. Ken Shamrock got hurt before the fight. Talk about controversy. I mean, no wonder people were saying this was a big payoff scandal. The guy got hurt before the fight.
That wasn't the payoff scandal part.
Oh. Would have been a real good one, too.
Yeah, it would have been. But the real story actually came when former Ultimate Fighter alumni Seth Petrozelli was given a chance to step into the main event in place of Shamrock, taking on Kimbo Slice.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Fighter, are you ready? Fighter, are you ready?
And it's about to get serious. Slice quickly across. Slice goes down. Slice in trouble. Oh my goodness. Slice gets pounded out. And they stop it. Rocky is here.
For those who didn't know, that was CBS commentator Gus Johnson who was screaming, "Rocky, Rocky is here." Seth Petrozelli shocks the world. Rocky? Really? Rocky? Sure does seem like a stretch to imagine Seth Petrozelli in the same light as... Oh, there you go. And in addition to that, Gus couldn't be further from the truth. Johnson also labeled Kimbo Slice's loss as, quote, the biggest upset in MMA history. Well, not to the folks at ESP, the magazine. They knew.
But then it gets really odd. While Seth Petrozelli was still basking in the light of victory, he did the unthinkable. He smeared his own win. In the most ironic act committed by any athlete since OJ's book, If I Did It, Seth Petrozelli went on a sports talk radio show and said Elite XC paid him to only stand up with Slice, a statement he retracted quickly while Elite XC's head of fight operations, Jeremy Lappin, tried to quickly clear the air. Lappin said, quote, "We gave Seth a knockout bonus before the fight started."
Now, in all fairness, there have been many successful businessmen who have given a bonus to a fighter just in case a result were to take place.
And about as quick as Seth Petrozelli finished off Kimbo Slice, UFC President Dana White released his own thoughts on the Elite XC scandal in the form of a video blog, a blog that seemed to have been filmed by the same guys who filmed the 1980s video Take On Me by AHA.
Think about this. Mandalay Bay and the Venetian both had betting on this. You, the consumer, the mixed martial arts fan, could go in and bet on this fight. Okay? Now, anybody that's going to bet on this fight is going to think, well, if Seth Petrozelli can get him to the ground, the fight's over. So I'm going to bet, take a chance that Seth's going to get him down and submit him. But you don't know the scumbag promoters behind the scenes went in and paid him to not go to the ground. They paid him to stand up. You know why? Because they thought that Kimbo Slice was going to viciously knock him out. But Kimbo Slice sucks. Like I've said now for the last few months, this fucking guy can't fight, and he got knocked out in 13 seconds by a guy who didn't win the Ultimate Fighter and who didn't win fights in the UFC. They brought him up from the undercard to fight the main event guy and knocked him out in 13 seconds. They're being investigated by the Florida Athletic Commission. They ought to be investigated right now by the FBI too.
Bold words from a bold and influential man in the MMA community. But come on, in the midst of a global war on terror, are Gary Shaw and Elite XC where we want the FBI to spend even a little of their time and resources? All right, Dana's, he's had enough of Gary Shaw and Elite XC, so he's got an understandable, heated opinion or point of view. I mean, it's not like you're going to find anybody else out there who would feel the same way, too.
With Dana on this one, he should be investigated by the betting commissions. Athletic commissions of each and every state.
Right.
He should be investigated by the FBI.
Crooked, wrong, and bad for sports. 3 things I think you'd find any red-blooded American would agree. Warrants and redirection of federal agents away from a national security. Matter of fact, if you go and turn on C-SPAN right now, I believe that they'll be holding congressional hearings about the overzealous end zone dancing in the NFL. But okay, fair enough. So we'll leave you with this last image from MMA Yac&J on BrawlerTV.com.